All right, we're recording. Manuel, hi, welcome.
Hey, welcome. Thanks for having me. So the audio is all right for you guys? All right. So I've been vegan for about 3 years now. I'm originally from Austria. I'm 28 years old, and I consider myself a hybrid athlete, which means I try to combine endurance and strength at the same time, which is a very hard thing to do because one contradicts with the other. So, but it's going all right so far, and veganism just made it a whole lot different and better and exciting, and all the feelings. So it's been a journey, and it still is, but the main goal is for me personally to show people it's not necessary to kill animals. It's not necessary to consume animal products to be, fit, healthy, to lift big weights, to run marathons. You don't have to give up anything. You don't have to sacrifice your health nor your fitness. You don't have to miss out on any occasions like birthday parties, Christmas dinners, family meetups, nothing of that. So there are a lot of misinformations out there, and I'm just trying to be one more annoying vegan out there spreading the message.
It's great to hear that, Manuel. And I think a lot of people are interested in this combination between a strong, high performance athlete and veganism, because very often the image is different. Have you always been vegan? Have you always been interested in this? I know you have a military background, so maybe a little bit of an introduction to that and how you turned into veganism and continued on that journey.
Yeah, so as you mentioned, I spent most of the time of my working life as an adult in the military as a paratrooper. So I was jumping out of airplanes. I was deployed to Kosovo for 3 or 4 times. And at that time, I wasn't always vegan, of course, but a good friend of mine and his girlfriend was a vegetarian / vegan for about 3 or 4 years at that point. And she has always mentioned some statistics, some information, told me about documentaries out there. And I was always, I wasn't blocking it, but at that time I was like, I was in the wrong spot. So I was always, eating the animals. I was, in the gym and, pumping iron, and I just wanted to get huge. And, in the military, there are 99% are male, and there's this, cliche, you have to eat meat, you have to be big, you have to, prove yourself to others. And for me at that point, there was no way I was, giving up meat and dairy and, all the good stuff everyone's eating out there. So it was a hard time, but eventually I took the step, and I was watching a documentary about 3.5 years ago now. I think it was Hope for All. It's got a little bit of everything. So the environmental aspect, the animals, the ethical aspect, and of course, the health aspect as well. So, and it made sense right away. So I watched the documentary, and the day after I decided, okay, that's it for me. It's the next logical step for me. And since then I'm vegan. So that was the point for me. So, and never looking back.
Great to hear. Did you find that your performance dropped when you went to veganism? Did you get smaller, weaker, slower?
I would say the first 2 or 3 weeks, it was a little bit challenging, but not in a way of, feeling weak or something like that. It was just, we always have the psychological effect of the plate. We have the carbs, we have the protein, and, we have the veggies. And for the first 2 or 3 weeks, I felt like something is missing. So there was no protein on the plate. And I think that was the biggest problem for the first 2 or 3 weeks. But after that, it was, you fill it up with beans, you fill it up with more veggies and carbs and, complex carbs. And you get to know so many different carbohydrates and veggies, and you experiment. And so I didn't feel any weaker or slower or nothing. It was just getting used to it and educating myself on, how to fill or how to exchange the protein with plant protein. So that was basically it. But after that, I was on full records, and so I hit personal bests ever since. So it's been amazing. The recovery, the sleep, my skins, everything got better.
Fantastic, fantastic. How did you educate yourself on what to eat and kind of where to get the protein from and how to balance it? A lot of people struggle. They just cut out the meat and dairy, and then they go to fries or they chips, and and they're actually not healthy vegans. Yeah. So how did you go through that journey?
So the first thing, I think for most, it's the best to watch a few documentaries, because I think we humans, we need something visual to really see what's behind it, what we are causing if we are paying for animals, to be killed. So I think the first step I always tell people is watch a few documentaries and try to cover each aspect. So on the environment, the health, and also, of course, what's happening to the animals. And I think this is the baseline to starting to live a vegan life. And in that documentaries, you always see so many different doctors, and they recommend books, and that's where I got introduced to books like The China Study, How Not to Die. What else is there? Peace Food, and these are the best, I think, books to read. So they're easy to read. The China Study is very, they dig very, very deep into the details. And I think many of us, and like myself, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a professional nutritionist, so you can easily get lost in that. But I think Peace Food and How Not to Die are really good sources to go for books.
So why are you vegan? Was it for what reasons did you finally make that decision?
So the biggest thing for me was the animals, because of course I knew that animals have to be killed in order for me to eat meat or eat the cheese. I was aware of what's going on in the industry, but I was blinding myself. I wasn't looking at it. And but this documentary, I saw the animals crying. I saw the animals getting stabbed to death, and this was when it really clicked for me. So this was the first thing. And I think if we are really talking about veganism, it's all about the animals. The other benefits, if you do it right, if you do it the right way, it also can be the healthiest way of living, and it also can be the most, how do I say it, an environmental friendly way of living. But these are just, as I call it, side effects. But first and foremost, it's all about the animals, and that's what I try to, I try to put aside the cliches. For men to eat meat, you have to be, you have to eat animals to be strong and fit, and that's what I try. And the more the better. So if you're really fit and you can back it up, I think it's for men, this is a really important aspect, that you don't get weaker, that you are not giving up on your fitness or on your persona, the way you look. So that's kind of my approach.
And you look good, mate. So it's working for you.
Thanks.
So how can you tell us a little bit about your routine and schedule and what it is you do, and how do you are you looking towards get bigger, faster, stronger? How do you balance your objectives?
So at the moment, for me, it's all about my performance in terms of the times I run, the distance I run, and certain strength numbers I hit in the gym. So the way I look is really just the side effect of the way I live, of the way I eat. And years ago, I was always trying to, get big arms and big chest and, to have a six pack and all that. And I think most of the times we really get caught up in, trying to look a certain way, which is not a bad thing in particular, but I think that's also the mental aspect, which makes it very, very difficult for the body to adapt and change itself. So right now I'm focusing on running a certain time on my half marathon, and I also want to keep running marathons and also lifting big in terms of Olympic weightlifting, the clean and jerk, the snatch, and doing weighted pull-ups, weighted dips, and gymnastics as well. So I really try to focus on all areas, and the way I look is, I call it, is the byproduct of my lifestyle. And what I do right now, I'm in Switzerland. Obviously, I'm working at Mr. Vegan. It's an online shop. You can order food, you can order cosmetics, pet food, everything you like. And I work full time. I work 100%, and I get up at around 6 in the morning. If I have a run before work, I would get up at 5 a.m., go run 1 hour, come back home. I change, shower, of course. First I shower, then I change. Then I do I'm always having the same breakfast. I'm having oats, fresh fruits, nuts, nut butter, and coffee and some water. So that's my go-to breakfast. And then I work 8 to 9 hours a day. And after that, I drive to the gym or maybe CrossFit, or if I have a longer run, I do it afterwards. And that's basically Monday to Friday. And on the weekends, I try to work out twice or maybe only once if it's a long run. So that's basically every week's the same, almost. And I try to enjoy everything in between. So most of the times it's weekends, it's all about eating pancakes and pizzas and all the good vegan stuff.
Whoever says vegans don't eat well just doesn't understand, do they? That's an amazing routine and really strong discipline to continue with that. Congrats, it's motivating. I'd like to maybe give a few minutes now to open up for questions, and then we can progress with some other discussions if there aren't any questions. So please, anyone who's had any, just jump in.
I have a question. Do you take any supplements?
So right now, of course, I take B12. That's on my daily. I take vitamin D, and I take omegas, but only if I'm not able to cover it with the food. So usually I have a teaspoon of flax seeds. I also have some walnuts, and I try to eat mainly whole foods throughout the day. So the breakfast and the lunch, always whole foods. In between snacks, maybe a shake, and that's pretty much about my supplements. Usually I take a protein after my gym sessions, but that's basically it. So the vitamin D, the B12, and omegas if I have to.
Mm-hmm.
Hi there, this is Emmy here. Thanks for joining us today. I have a question about, your inspiration. You mentioned a couple of books, but is there any person, apart from your personal friends, that really inspired you?
I don't have one specific in mind, but I have a few CrossFit athletes, and there are a few who do it on a vegan diet. That's for sports, and yeah, if it comes to just veganism and the animals, I really have to mention my girlfriend. She's been very, very helpful, and I'm learning, so many things, and I still do so. Really appreciate her.
Awesome, thank you.
You're welcome.
I also have a question, again, kind of related to the diet itself. For the proteins that you said you take after your workouts, do you use like some kind of, I don't know, protein powder or something, or do you use food? Can you please explain a bit?
Yeah, so usually it's fine. You don't have to take protein powders to cover your your protein needs, but if it has to be quick, maybe you have a longer work day, or you just want to get an extra dose of protein, I will take a powder. So right now I'm using VivoLife. It's a little more expensive, but I think the company is very great. The products, most of them, and I think all of them are fermented, so you can digest it easier. And they have a lot of superfoods also, like turmeric, pepper, and I really like them. So that's my go-to. But I really think it's not necessary, because it gets promoted too hard, the amount of proteins we should take. So I think it's very, very easy. If you eat enough, and if you eat a variety of whole foods, it's no problem.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
One more question from me on the personal level. So when you shifted to the vegan diet, did you, did you face some challenges, from family, friends, or your ex-military colleagues, judging you, trying to make you go back to the old word?
Yeah, of course, it's still very, very challenging sometimes, and I think the most difficult people are the closest around you, so friends, family, and it's very, very hard to face those conversations. But I think if you know your why, it's easy. And the more you know, the more you educate yourself, the more comfortable you're getting. And I think for me it was not easy, but the way I look and the way I feel and the way I perform it was very, very good for me in the military, because either we had running tests, we had strength tests, and I was always the one on top. So it was very, very hard for the other guys to say, oh, you can't this or you can't do that because you're vegan. But no, I think if you really do it the right way, and you know why you're doing it, and it comes from your heart, there's nothing that can stop you. So I really, really think that, and it sounds cliche, but nothing what's worth fighting for comes easy, so and I think I always try to remember what's her name, I don't know now, but she's an ultra runner, Fiona Oakes. She's an ultra runner, and everything she does, and every time she goes through a tough time, she's always telling herself, the pain I feel is nothing in comparison to the pain we're putting on, helpless and defenseless animals. So that's really helped me in some of my marathons when it's very, very hard. That's a place I go to. I think about, animals being caged and tortured, and that's where I get a lot of strength. So, but I think if you educate yourself and you have passion and you do it the right way, I think you can inspire very, very many people. So, but of course it's very, very hard. And I had the luck, my mom is very, she trusts me, and she has seen my progress that I'm making. And she's not 100% vegan, but she's, I would say, 95% vegan. And she's been amazing and open-minded and very, very, I have many friends that also are going into vegetarianism and also veganism. And I think I do make an impact, and I hope I can continue to do that. Sorry for the long answer.
Oh, it's amazing. Thank you. It sounds really inspiring.
I have one question. A question,
Yes.
like just that when it is a saying that what you eat becomes your behavior, or is also in your mind. So when you are eating meat and now you have changed your diet, so there was any change in your behavior, your thinking, after the change of diet to vegan and vegetarian?
I think if you really open up to veganism and you're watching all these documentaries and animals, and you take the step and you decide, okay, I'm not doing this, I'm not paying for animals to be killed anymore. I think everyone is very, very drastically changing their behavior and the way they interact. And that's my perception over the last 3 years. So of course there are annoying vegans out there, and there are people I don't like, but for the most part I met so many different characters from all over the world, and they are all very, very open-minded. Most of the times they traveled a lot, they've seen different cultures, and they are just, kind of people, I think, because if you really, if you're not hurting animals, I think you are also expanding this to other humans, and you live a more compassionate life. So I would have to ask other people who knew me before if I've changed, but I do believe so. And yeah, I think everyone does change.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
Manuel, thank you very much, and some fantastic questions today. We've got a couple of minutes left, so maybe for yourself, if people want to get involved, see what you do, where's the best way to connect?
So I'm only on Instagram, and it's @thevegran, and I share everything. So not everything, but most of the stuff I do. So what I eat, how I train, and yeah, I'm always happy to connect with others, and I hope to see some of you next week. Maybe I will try to come to the run meetup in Zurich, and yeah, I hope this situation we're in now is over soon, so we can all meet and hug each other and eat delicious food. So
sounds perfect. And we have maybe 1 minute left, so maybe a quick, if someone wants to get started or they're just beginning the journey, any top tips, hints?
I think it's the best way to do it is just dive in head first and don't think too much. I think it's the same with running and sports in general, and people are always looking for things. I don't have the right watch, I don't have the right shoes, I don't know where to start. Just start. That's most of the times that's the the biggest step you have to take. Just start, and everything else you will learn on the journey. And I think to eat a vegan diet is very, very simple, because we do have all the alternatives nowadays for cheese, milk, yogurt, etc. I think to live vegan is don't use animals as clothing, entertainment. I think that's a process, and you have to change your clothes and things like that. But I think to eat a vegan diet, to leave animals off your plate, is very easy nowadays. And we really don't have any excuses. So just start, watch documentaries, read some books, and yeah, enjoy vegan donuts.
Thanks a lot, Manuel. Really appreciate the time today, and have a great evening.
Hey, thank you. Thanks for having me, and see you guys soon.
Thank you
Bye.
very much.
You're
Super
welcome.
inspiring. Take care, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks
Bye.
very much.
Bye,
Bye.
everybody.
Thanks. Bye.